Hi everybody. As you can tell, I got a new set of headphones. Because I have to try things out before I know if they're gonna work. And my last set, I had for a while, like a couple of months, and I figured out pretty quickly that the more you use them, the more they wear out faster. Obviously, but also this set seems to have a lot more give and flexibility and stuff, whereas my other set that I was using doesn't have that much, and you can just tell it's gonna crack in a matter of time. And no, it's not because I have a big head, it's just not that flexible, whereas these are. Okay, I'll show you something real quick. I have to have my headset off for a second. But okay. Like, okay. You see what I just did there? Like I kind of stretched it a little. This has more give. Whereas the other one I was using doesn't have that much give. I don't know why. So I think I'm gonna like this set. So, okay. On to the topic at hand here. Y&R. It was really good for Wednesday. It had some movement, which I always like. So yeah, I was happy with that. And they showcased Kate Linder, who plays Esther Valentine, and also, well, Jack was talking to his sister Tracy, which is cool because, you know, I've said before, but she plays the younger sibling of everybody. And I know from experience, sometimes the younger sibling gets overlooked or not paid that much attention to because they think that because you're younger, you don't know much. So I've actually experienced it myself. So it was nice to see them have moments and stuff where she was kind of giving him advice, and I think he was listening to her. I hope he was, because she said, and it was kind of funny, kind of ironic in the fact that they were talking about around the Christmas tree, and he was decorating the Christmas tree to kind of lighten his mood, or so he said. And he happened to have a ornament in his hand that he had for a long time, presumably since childhood. And he said, "It's amazing that I hold on to stuff so dear, but I'm starting to learn that maybe you can't do that with people." And she said, "Yeah, sometimes you have to let people breathe and just be and not tell them how to do everything." And meanwhile, on the other side, um, Esther was talking to Diane, and she said that, first of all, you can't control people. Secondly, if you want people to do something you want, you can't really force them to do anything. And the more you try to be all over them, the less effective it's going to be. So I was like, all right, now, if they would just listen to that advice and actually take it in, then we'd get somewhere. Okay, now, another storyline, which kind of figured this was going to happen too. Although I like it, I'm not saying it that way. I'm noticing what storylines they're focusing on and which ones they're really backburnering. You can tell. Okay, so the storyline between Claire and her new job with Nikki and everybody. Okay, so everyone's concerned how the first day went, right? And so Victoria, being her mother, is all concerned about. I know she was nervous. She was trying to hide it, but I know she was nervous. So how did it go? And Nikki said, well, it went fine. Of course, she proved herself to be a Newman, and she did just fine. And also, she said this later on in the conversation. But she said, you know, you're not the only one looking out for her. There are a lot of people who do that, who are doing that. So that was nice to hear too. Um, so Nikki does have, well, I mean, Nikki has a heart and she's not as ruthless as Victor because a lot of people sometimes clump her into, well, because he's that ruthless, she must be too. And she's really not. Only thing is, sometimes she doesn't know exactly what Victor's up to, but then once she finds out, she usually says, "How dare you? How dare you? Why did you do that?" You know. So there's that going on too. And then Kyle and Jack were talking about Claire, and finally, seems like everyone's supportive of this relationship. So I'm happy about that because I do like young love. I like to see a couple every once in a while that actually make it, you know, and don't just suffer through the pitfalls of like, well, the relationship is doomed to fail anyway. So I like it. I'm a romantic. I just don't like it when they throw it up in their face all the time. Like, the couples who are on each other 24/7. That's when I'm like, okay, get a room. But yeah. Yeah, I covered it today. Now, who's to say what's gonna happen tomorrow? Because everything's a roller coaster. But all right, bye guys.